better than pouring a nice cold glass of milk with some cookies that just came out of the oven. What if I told you that milk most likely came from a cow that was injected with RBGH, or recombinant bovine growth hormone? This hormone is synthesized from genetically modified bacteria, and when injected into cows, allows their milk cells to stay alive longer, producing higher yields. Since GMOs are restricted in over 60 countries and banned in 26, doesn't this tell us something? Today, I am going to persuade you why GMOs are unsafe and why they should be banned from the United States. I am also going to discuss some actions you can take to help get GMOs banned. I have gathered information from several sources, including the Non-GMO Project and ABC News. A genetically modified organism is a plant or meat product that has had its DNA artificially altered in a laboratory by genes from other plants, animals, viruses, or bacteria to produce foreign compounds in foods. Currently, about 169 million acres, almost half of all the cultivated U.S. farmlands, are growing GMOs. GMOs are harmful to our health. According to the Grocery Manufacturing Association, about 80% of our processed foods contain GMOs. Some common foods include rice, corn, wheat, canola oil, cotton, tomatoes, potatoes, and soybeans. The American Academy of Environmental Medicine urges doctors to promote non-GMO diets for their patients. Dr. Judy Carmen, a biochemist, constructed a study in which she took 168 just weaned pigs and fed them a typical diet containing soy and corn for a little over 5 months. Half of the pigs were fed popular brands of the GM feed, while the other half were fed non-GM feed. After the pigs were slaughtered, qualified veterinarians did autopsies. They concluded that the female pigs given the GM feed had a 25% increase in weight of their uterus as opposed to the control pigs. They also had more intestinal problems, and the pigs fed the GM diet, such as inflammation of the stomach and small intestine. Pigs were the animals of choice because they have similar digestive systems to humans. Humans also end up eating these pigs, which have these many health problems. GMOs have the potential to increase allergies. According to the Food Allergy Research and Education, 15 million Americans have food allergies. With that being said, it is a major concern that people eat safe foods without realizing one of the ingredients has been spliced with the genes of an allergen. For example, in the mid-1990s, soybeans were combined from genes with Brazil nuts. People who had allergies to these nuts had blood drawn and shown reactions to the beans. Luckily, these soybeans were never put on the market. Now that I have shared some reasons why GMOs are harmful to our health, let's look at some reasons why they are harmful to our environment. GMOs are harmful to the environment because they increase herbicide use. Most GM crops are herbicide tolerant. This means that farmers are able to use herbicides to control the growth of weeds and not damage their own crops. Between 1996 and 2008, U.S. farmers used 383 million pounds of herbicide, Roundup being the biggest seller. By overusing these types of products, it is creating super weeds, which are resistant to this herbicide. This is causing farmers to use even more toxic herbicides each year. Therefore, GM foods contain higher residues of toxic herbicides, which we are ingesting. Roundup has been linked to sterility, hormone disruption, birth defects, and cancer. These super weeds can be only killed with more toxic poisons such as 2,4-D, a major ingredient in Agent Orange. These herbicides can harm birds, insects, amphibians, marine ecosystems, and soil organisms. For example, the monarch butterfly population is down 50%. They feed on the milkweed, which is killed by the Roundup. Lincoln Brower stated, "The monarch is a symbol of a bigger biological problem." Many of the herbicides used contain a glyphosate base that contribute to the overgrowth of harmful bacteria, both in GM and in our own bodies. Cross-pollination is also an issue. This occurs when an organic or non-GM farmer neighbors a GM farmer and the wind blows. Crops that are wind or insect pollinated have a higher risk, for example, corn. Organic farmers should have the right to farm without the threat of GM contamination. Now that I have talked to you about how GMOs are harmful to the environment, let's talk about how we can take action. We can refuse to buy GMOs. If customers refuse to buy a certain product, the retailers are forced to take it off the market. We can also print a non-GMO shopping guide, which will give us a list of all the non-GM foods. We can support the non-GMO projects. This encourages your favorite brands that are not yet GMO-free to become GMO-free. Companies are informed on a regular basis. We can continue to educate the public. Once GMOs are labeled, informed customers will not choose to buy them. Once enough customers do this, stores will stop selling them, and manufacturers will stop using GMOs in their foods. Now that you know why GMOs are bad for you, let's take a look at why two experts think they are good for you. According to Neil deGrasse Tyson, a leading advocate for GM usage, urges people to chill out. He states, there are no wild cows. You list all the fruit and all the vegetables, and ask yourself, is there a wild counterpart to this? If there is, it's not as large, it's not as sweet, it's not as juicy, and it has way more seeds in it. While I agree that genetically engineering can make fruits larger and sweeter, it does not change the detrimental side effects to the human body. GMOs have the potential to increase allergies, cause digestion problems, and are harmful to the environment. According to researchers at MIT, GMOs increase crop yield and promote efficient land use. I agree that we need to conserve land and find new effective ways to cultivate more food, but GMOs are not the answer. As Bill Nye says, we have a strange situation where we have malnourished fat people. It's not that we need more food, it's that we need to manage our food system better. In conclusion, I have shared with you why GMOs are bad for your health, why they are bad for the environment, actions you can take to help get GMOs banned, and two opposing views. Now let's work together and get GMOs banned.